Uganda. Uganda will explore oil in 2 new regions. Congratulations. Yeah, let's clap our hands. Yes, fellas, it's happening in Africa, especially in Uganda. This is Uganda. Lovely place, amazing people. One of the partiest people I've ever met. I'm telling you, I had some of the best time ever. I went out. These people go out every single day in Uganda. Monday, they're out. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. On Sunday, they're out. I know some of you are very used to, taking a break on a Sunday because Monday is work day. Not Ugandans. You'll see them at 3 o'clock in the morning going. Then you ask, you say, hey, I have to work tomorrow. I have to go to work. What? Yeah, that's Uganda. If you've never been to Africa, I encourage you to go check out Uganda. If you are Africans, you don't travel very much. I always encourage you guys. I think Uganda is a lovely place. You're very secure. No feelings of being threatened by somebody at night or anything. Really, really nice. And they're very clever, very smart university people. Anyway, let's get to track. So Uganda has discovered new pouches of oil. Okay, I know most of us believe that oil is just for Arabs. No, it's not. Many African countries have oil, like Angola, Senegal, Nigeria, and Gabon as well. Africans are trying right now to push, to explore oil. So, in fact, Uganda, a few years ago, installed a project of oil, exporting oil to other places. But Europeans were not happy about that. The European Parliament said Ugandans must stop that project of exploring oil.
Total's project has impoverished thousands of people. In other words, it has expropriated people who made a living from their land.
Uganda has no coast to the sea. In order to export your oil, you need the sea. Uganda has no coast to the sea. It's an inland country. Uganda needed a neighboring country from which they could export their oil to the international market. Initially, they wanted to work with Kenya, but for some reason, they decided to work with Tanzanians because they felt like Tanzanians are easier to deal with.
Uganda discovered petroleum and gas in 2006. It has taken these 15 years before the first oil on account of the divergent perceptions between us and the oil companies.
Among other benefits, the project will yield revenues to both countries while creating short and long-term employment for both highly skilled and semi-skilled professionals as well as casual laborers.
So Uganda built a pipeline all the way to Tanzania in order to export their oil. It was a massive project rejected by Europeans. Yes, Europeans. European Parliament was against this project. They say Uganda must stop because according to them, it's destroying the fauna and the flora, like destroying the forest. So you guys from Uganda, you cannot explore your oil and become rich and better your lives because you're destroying the forest. Or matter of fact, you're getting animals to lose their homes. And also, because of your oil project, you are kicking villagers out of their villages, and this is unacceptable. You need to stop that. Yes, fellas. Europeans say that. Unfortunately for them, President Museveni is a very strong figure. He doesn't care. So Europeans put pressure on international companies that were willing to spend billions of dollars in this project in order for them to stop.
The investments that are being put in these activities total to 1.85 billion in the year 2022. They totaled to 1.9 billion in the year 2023, and they are projected to total to 3.19 billion in this year 2024.
It talks about the right of African country or country like Uganda to develop their oil and gas resources, even if globally the world has to decarbonize, but with a responsibility to develop these resources in a different way compared to what has been done before in other countries, in a more sustainable way.
For us, provision of clean energy is a key driver for this energy transition.
To stop Uganda from achieving this project. Well, the Ugandan President Museveni said, you know what, we're going to do it with you or without.
I encourage the oil companies to move on the two, on the refinery and on the pipeline. Now, for the European Union, I spent many years studying English. 12 years I think one of the words I picked up in those years is insufferable. Some of these people are insufferable. You need to control yourself not to explode. So shallow, so egocentric, so wrong, but they think they know everything, broadcast their ignorance all over the place. But they should calm down. Because this is a wrong battleground for them. We don't take kindly to arrogance. That's why we spent so many years sorting out issues with arrogant people.
Matter of fact, by creating this project, we're going to create jobs for these people you look like you're worried about. By creating this pipeline, we're going to create an environment that people will grow. How did they find oil in Uganda? This happened in 1920 when the British first went looking for oil in Uganda. Now, because they couldn't export the oil, they lied to the Ugandans that there was no oil in Uganda. Later on, President Museveni, instead of bringing in experts to look for oil, he sent his own Ugandan youth to go and study oil and petroleum, become experts, so they can come back to Uganda and do the work for Ugandans. How amazing is that? That is great. So as we see, the project is moving forward. And very soon, Uganda will be one of the biggest producers of oil in the world. And surely that will better the life of Ugandans. It will better the economy. It will create opportunities for other people. Let me give you a simple example. You know Dubai. You surely know Dubai. You know how Dubai became Dubai. Dubai was a poor country in 1960 until they found oil. When they discovered oil, very slowly the country grew and developed. It was oil. Well, Africa has oil, gold, diamond, lithium, coltan, you name it. Why isn't Africa growing? So the Europeans said Uganda should stop the project because it's creating global warming. But when they use oil to develop their countries, it was not an issue. There was no global warming issue. Now that Uganda is trying to do the same, then they say, no, you cannot do this. You can now understand one of the reasons why Uganda is sanctioned in many places. Okay, we are moving now to the neighboring Kenya. Yes, my Kenyan people, VP Bwana. Okay, lovely place. I had one of the most amazing New Year's Eve in Kenya. I'm definitely going back. Very friendly, good environment. So Kenya has got an issue, fellas. There's a criminal in Kenya that just ran away from prison. He killed 42 people. He was put in jail, in observation so they can go through his trial. But a few days later, he disappeared. And these are crazy stuff. Him along 13 other people who were Eritrean, they just vanished. So they found out that it was a play by the police. Yeah, the police at the prison. They let that guy go. Surely they were paid. Okay, so this is not a first. This kind of situation happens quite a lot in many African countries where criminals are put in jail and very slowly some of their friends come and offer money and police officers let them go. Or sometimes you kill somebody and they have a file with your name and details and testimonies. And somebody comes and pays money to the police officers and the file just disappears. And because they have no proof against you, they cannot prosecute you. Then they have to let you go. Yeah, this is crazy. It has to stop, especially when it comes to criminals like that. I mean, 42 people is 42. That's a lot. That's a serial killer. That's not a good human being. I mean, I don't care how much amount of money you could give somebody to let a killer of 42 people get out. So the police have been arrested. They say 12 individuals who fled alongside Kalusha is the name of the person, were Eritrean nationals detained for entering the country illegally. It's just crazy that people detained for entering the country illegally could be imprisoned with the person that killed 42 people. So 8 officers on duty at the time have been suspended while the investigation continues. This is crazy. Apparently, these police that were surveilling the prison while these other criminals ran away were also tortured. I mean, I'm just asking, would you torture somebody like that or not? I know torture is not good, but if somebody lets someone who killed 42 people run away for some money, whose problem is this? Some people will say it's the government's problem because police don't earn enough money and that's why they accept anything. Well, you could very well say that. How about people that never get enough of money. There are some people you can give them as much money as you like, as much money as the salary. They're still not going to miss an opportunity to add some $2, $10 on top of that. It's crazy. So everybody must pay it. So everybody must pay for their due. Kenya is still a lovely place. I encourage you to go visit Kenya. Yeah, good vibe, very interesting, very similar to South Africa when it comes to, certain things. Not exactly the same, but yeah, it's very similar. Matter of fact, African countries are very different one from another. If you travel, you see the culture, the customs. It's very interesting. Yes, we all have things that bring us together. Okay, in Africa, you cannot get a woman if you don't pay the dowry, meaning you need to be present to the woman's family. You can't just take a woman and say, okay, let's go stay together in my apartment and I'm going to be doing you down every day. Sorry about that. No, you don't do that. They will disown her. That's disrespectful to the family. You need to come and show respect. Come to the family officially. Bring cows, cows as a sign of respect. No, you're not buying her. It's not buying. You're just showing that you respect her. It's better than you taking her for free anyway. So Africa is very different in terms of, vibes and moods. It's like neighborhood, right? Yeah. You know that neighborhood where things go really hot, yeah, and that other neighborhood that's very quiet. That's same like African countries. So I encourage you to go out there and see. Now we're going to Senegal. This is Senegal, West Africa. Very interesting place. So Senegal has got a brand new president. He's promised to make so much change in the country. So lately, he said they're going to review all the contract the country has signed with every other multinational. So all contract that was signed before he arrived in power must be reviewed. The outing president left contract. Obviously, sometimes he signs contract for his own benefit. That happens with a lot of presidents in Africa. They will sign contract that will benefit their families and not the population. So he's double checking, so that by the time he leaves government, he can be sure, confident enough to say, I don't know about that contract. I was not involved in this and that. And I think that's a very good thing, because Senegal has also discovered big pouches of oil that's going probably to boost the economy of the country. Senegal has always been vented as one of the most democratic, peaceful countries in Africa. And I encourage you to go visit Senegal. The culture is amazing. They have a wrestling culture. Men wrestle each other and they make money out of it. Really good, very encouraging. The food is amazing. You can eat cheap. You can eat rice and chicken mix, whatever you call it. In fact, the Senegalese are the owners, apparently, of what you call jollof rice. I mean, Nigerians and Ghanaians fight over jollof rice, but apparently Senegal is actually the origin of that. Even though you get another version of it in Tanzania, it's called pilau. But is pilau really jollof rice? Let me know how you feel about this. I think it's a bit different. So as a recap, we have Uganda that's going to start its project of oil, which is emphatic and big. President Museveni is doing a tremendous amount of work. I know no president will be loved by everybody, but props when things are working. He resisted the Europeans and still moved forward with the project that's actually going to be excellent. They built a road for Ugandans. Kampala never used to have decent road to the airport. Look at the road now. Yes, it was done by the Chinese. At least the Chinese are coming for business. They're not here to steal or tell you how to live or tell you who you're going to marry. That's your business. That's none of their business. So the Chinese built the road. They're still going to collect money from the toll gate for some time until the Ugandan government pays its money. I mean, that's good business. I mean, yeah. Now Ugandans can travel for 25 minutes to the airport. They used to do 2 hours before. Isn't that great? In Kenya, there's a guy named Karusha. This guy is a criminal, killed about 40-something people. And he vanished from prison because some dude needed money, and they let him out. Now, these dudes have been arrested, and apparently they beat the shit out of them. And human rights said, you're doing wrong. Why are you beating these people? Well, this person let somebody who killed 42 people out. That's unacceptable. And Senegal also is reviewing the contract that the previous government signed. Senegal has got so much oil, it's being exploited by an Australian company. So they're making sure that everything is right. Let me know how you feel about this. It's always a great pleasure. God bless.